Hello, my name is Lo, and I am currently in lockdown, week 2. What do we think of my use of an actual background instead of just a white wall? I'm kind of digging it. I like the vibes. So this is my second weekly update on what I have been doing while in lockdown in Australia. A lot of the things I talk about during this week's update are going to be things that I either brought up or started in last week's update. So if you want some context for that, you can go watch that video. If you don't care about context, then I guess just stay here. My first day of week 2 of lockdown was spent, well, first I finished editing the creativity video that I had filmed a couple days prior. If you haven't seen it, please do, because I put a lot of time and effort into it and I am very proud of it. And then I called and chatted with some friends so that I would not feel so horrifically lonely. And then I finished up a song that I had started the week before. I finally figured out what I wanted to do for the chorus, and I finally got it out. I'm calling the song Again. And I'm not going to say what it's about because honestly it's kind of embarrassing, but yeah, I will say it's about a thing that I do again and again and never learn from. And one of my friends who I played it for said that she could tell that I listened to Courtney Barnett based on how that sounded, which I'm gonna take as a very high compliment and say that it somehow sounds like Courtney Barnett. I don't know if that's actually what she meant when she said that, but that's how I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna be very, very pleased about it. Day 2, Tuesday, my internet at the flat stopped working, so I had to take a completely empty tram, which was very weird, to Federation Square, which is like in the CBD downtown area of Melbourne and has free Wi-Fi, because every other place that has free Wi-Fi in this entire city, like libraries and coffee shops and whatever else, is closed. So I just had to like sit outside on this park type downtown meeting place area and try to upload my video. And then I stayed there for another little bit of time and continued using their Wi-Fi so that I could video chat with a bunch of friends, which was so nice. These are all people who lived in the same dorm with me during university, but some of them I haven't seen since my graduation or their graduation. So it was really, really nice to be able to hang out like in a group and almost feel like we were back in one of our dorm rooms just chatting and whatever. Then I went over to a park and met up with my 2 Melbourne friends so that one of them could give me a SCOBY, which is like the yeast and bacteria thing that you use to make kombucha. I actually got to talk to people in real life, face to face, for an extended amount of time. And that was amazing because that hadn't happened in about a week at that point. Of course, we kept our distance because social distancing, but still, just being able to actually see a friend face to face was... We hung out in that park for a couple hours until it started getting dark. And then we got some Chinese takeaway and beer. Day 3, I went to my old hostel, the first place that I stayed at when I came to Melbourne. And I had left some stuff there and also had a package that had been delivered to that place. So I picked up those things. Also, because I'm extra as fuck, I brought a bunch of my dirty laundry to that place because they have a laundry machine and I don't. So I took advantage of that and did some laundry while I was there. And while I was waiting for my laundry to finish, I walked over to the supermarket nearby and bought, of course, more kombucha. Once I got back to the flat, I started writing another song because apparently once I made that Am I Creative video and decided that I am creative, I'm just popping out creative products. And then I tried to set out my laundry to dry on the rack outside, and this happened. All right, so I'm currently stuck on this balcony because there is no doorknob on this side of the door. The keys are inside. There's a window that's like a little bit open, but not enough to be able to get in. And yeah, this is my home for now, I guess. I'm gonna curl up and I guess I can sleep on this little hay bale. I can eat the dirt for sustenance. And then maybe someday, if I'm lucky, somebody will come and I can let down my hair and they can climb up and save me. Okay, 2 updates. So number one, I have a friend who is on her way here right now to like give me some pliers, so I can hopefully try to like wrangle the knob. And update number two. So I came out here originally to put my clothes out, and I figured actually I could Rapunzel it and tie all my clothes together so I can cast it down and she can tie the pliers to the end of my pants. And that's ingenuity, I think. My friend's mom was smart enough to bring a ball of twine to throw up, so we didn't end up having to use my clothing rope. And she just so happened to have a doorknob that perfectly fit that little nub, so thank God I was able to get in. Honestly, I expected to be more stressed out by it, but it just seemed funny. Like, getting stuck on my friend's balcony in the middle of Australia, in the middle of a pandemic. Of course that's the situation that I find myself in. But yeah, I guess now that's just like a fun story that I can tell. The next day, I walked over to a thrift store, or as they call them here, op shop. And I bought a bunch of jars to use for making kombucha, and also a bunch of puzzles to waste my time with. And like, I love doing puzzles anyway, but especially now that I have nothing else to do and my internet at the flat doesn't work, I'm going to spend so much time doing so many puzzles and I'm going to be so happy about it. Then I washed all of those jars very deeply because with kombucha, everything has to be incredibly clean. Then I made some sweet tea, popped my little SCOBY into the jar along with that tea, and put my cheesecloth on, and now wait for a week until I get kombucha. Then I read a bit, and the book I've been reading is this, which I'm going to talk about more in my What I Read This Month video for the end of April. But for now, I'll just say that I was thinking a lot about love and ended up journaling a lot about the ways that I experience love. And I wrote one line that got me like really excited. So I ended up finishing the lyrics and melody for the song I had started writing the day earlier. And that song I'm calling What Can I Do? Again, I'm not going to say what it's about because it's embarrassing, but I do like this one. And that same friend who told me that my other song sounded a bit like Courtney Barnett said that this one had a fun melody, so that's exciting and I'm proud of it. The next day, Friday, I spent most of the day just kind of laying around and watching YouTube videos and playing guitar, and then I actually figured out the chords for What Can I Do? Typically when I'm writing a song, I'll just start like fucking around on guitar and then singing a melody over it and just pick some random words and go with it. But with this song, I started coming up with the lyrics and melody without any instruments nearby, so I just had all of the lyrics and melody in my head and then had to figure out the chords afterwards. Now I have a complete song. And then on Saturday, so my 13th overall day of lockdown, I spent most of the day just filming and editing my week 1 video. And that's pretty much all I did that entire day, actually. On Sunday, I put my last couple finishing touches on that week 1 video, and then I started working on one of my puzzles, which is this Australian map puzzle. I figured even though I can't actually go around Australia right now, at least I can put together puzzle pieces of Australia and learn a little bit about geography. And while I was working on that puzzle, I was just scrolling through YouTube and watching some random videos, and I ended up finding a natural vegans video called I Like Puzzles, and I thought that was just the most perfect thing ever, to listen to my favorite vegan talk about puzzles while I, as a vegan, work on a puzzle. And that just made me very happy. I don't know why I'm rambling about this for so long. That was just a very exciting moment in my life, apparently. After working on this for about 5 hours, this is what I got. Obviously did the border first, and then a lot of the text. And I still have that much left. But also I got this from a thrift store, so who really knows if all of the pieces are gonna be there. And that's pretty much it of what I did during my week 2 of lockdown. I definitely was a lot more productive this week as compared to last week, and I am happy about that. I think that keeping busy is helping me not go down the existential rabbit hole that I am so prone to going down. But on that note, I mean, I watched Tiffany Ferguson's video called, I think it was like Our Obsession with Productivity, and I think she brought up some really good points about how we often end up feeling like if we're not being productive, that we're wasting our time. And especially right now, when there's so much going on and there's so much just stress constantly weighing on us. Even if you're not directly affected by coronavirus itself, just all of the panic and anxiety that everyone is experiencing, I think, is seeping into all of our collective unconsciousnesses. And for me, I think staying productive has been a really positive thing and has really helped me like keep some amount of structure and like drive and motivation in my life. But also I do want to say that if anybody watching this is not being productive or is trying to get stuff done and is finding it very difficult, please, please, please don't judge yourself for that. Don't be hard on yourself for not being as productive as you would like to be or you feel like you have to be, because you know, we're living in an unprecedented time. You shouldn't be expected to be on your peak performance right now of all times. So, you know, be productive if that's what helps you get through this. If that's what makes you feel good about yourself, then of course continue doing it. But if the pressure that either other people or yourself are putting on you to be productive, if that is making you feel worse, just please take a second to acknowledge, you know, that these are hard times and your worth as a person is not determined by how much you get done, no matter what the circumstances are, but especially now. So yeah, I just wanted to end on that hopefully positive note. Please go a little easier on yourself, give yourself a little bit of slack, especially now, but I think all of us in general can probably give ourselves a little bit more slack when it comes to productivity and weighing our worth as a human being based on what we're outputting. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'm gonna have another one out again next week, and I'm also gonna be making some other Am I Creative type videos, you know, stuff that requires a little more preparation and thought, as well as these weekly vloggy type videos. So yeah, stay tuned for that, I guess, and bye.